Okay, good morning. Welcome to
KidMath number 69.
KidMath number 69. So today, we're still doing a little bit of review, and I just kind of wanted to show you some fun stuff on how factoring sometimes makes your life a lot easier. And so I wrote down, this time, a cubic equation that is x cubed minus 3x squared minus 13x plus 15. Now, do you know how to graph that in your head?
No.
You haven't memorized every single cubic? Oh. I guess that's going to take a while. All right, fine. Well, it factors like this: x minus 1 times x minus 5 times x plus 3. Okay, so that means, what are the three roots of this equation?
The three roots are 1, 5, and negative 3.
Okay, so we know it hits 0 at x equals 1, it hits 0 at x equals 5, and it hits 0 at x equals negative 3. So that's, first of all, very helpful. Now I just want to check, is it positive or negative over here, positive or negative over here, positive, negative over here, positive, negative over here, and then we'll figure out what the graph looks like.
All right.
And by the way, just one little simple check. Let's check that x equals 1 actually makes this thing 0. Can you check that real quick?
1 cubed is still 1.
Okay.
Minus 3. 1 minus 3 minus 13 plus 15. So, minus 3, minus 13, yep, it's 0.
Okay, because I get minus 16 plus 16, which is 0, right? Okay, so now let's check for numbers less than minus 3. So pick a number that's less than minus 3.
Let's say minus 5.
Minus 5, okay. Minus 5 minus 1, what's that going to be?
6. I mean, negative 6.
So we'll just check, is it negative or positive?
So it is negative.
Negative. Minus 5 minus 5 is negative. Minus 5 plus 3?
Still negative.
Negative. So I get a negative times a negative times a negative. What's that?
A negative.
Okay, so over here, we're going to be negative. Let's check a number in between minus 3 and 1. What would you like to pick? 0. Okay, so I get minus 0 minus 1, which is?
Negative.
0 minus 5, which is?
Negative.
0 plus 3?
Positive.
Okay, so I get a negative times a negative times a positive. What's that?
It's a positive.
Positive. And here it's positive. Now pick a number in between 1 and 5.
Let's do 2.
2, okay. 2 minus 1 is?
It's 1.
Positive or negative? Positive. 2 minus 5?
Negative.
Negative. 2 plus 3?
Positive.
So I get a positive times a negative times a positive.
Which is negative.
Negative. Okay, great. And then now pick a number bigger than 5.
10.
10, okay. You can also pick infinity if you want, but
Yeah.
we'll pick 10. 10 minus 1 is?
Positive.
10 minus 5 is?
Positive.
Positive. 10 plus 3 is?
Positive.
So I get a positive times a positive times a positive.
Which is a positive.
Positive. Okay? Now, so all the numbers over here are going to be negative in the graph. All the numbers here are going to be positive. All the numbers here are going to be negative. All the numbers here are positive. And the reason I can do that is because the only time you can switch from positive to negative is when you cross over 0. Right? So, let's look. So I must be negative coming up to here. Positive in between here and here, but hitting 0, so it probably loops up like that. Negative in between here and here, but coming back to 0. And then positive after that. Racing off to infinity. So here's what our graph looks like.
Cool.
It's pretty neat, right?
Yeah.
So just some very simple ideas of factoring, and then using the idea that the only time you can switch from positive to negative is when you cross over 0. That's it, which is actually, by the way, a very deep idea in math. So I'm glossing over some complicated math, but do you believe that at least? The only time you can switch from positive to negative is crossing over 0? And so factoring, instead of having to plot lots and lots of points, I mean, how many points do you think you'd have to plot to understand this shape if you just started from up here?
A lot.
A lot. A lot. Factoring really helps us understand it goes negative to positive to negative to positive. Okay, good job,
Great.
sweetie. Very good job.